So we're going to give you 60 seconds each to run through yourself, who you are, a little bit about your company and opportunity. And again, maybe your superpower if you want to do that.
So Adam Dakin, President, CEO of Keriton. The problem we solve at Keriton is addressing the safety and the challenging workflows associated with inpatient feeding, particularly with formulas and expressed human milk. So think of us like medication barcode scanning. No hospital would give medication without barcode scanning, right? It's just basic fundamental safety, making sure the right patient gets the right medication and you document it appropriately. We literally do the exact same thing for inpatient enteral or human feeding, tube feeding, enteral tube feeding. We believe that no patient should be fed without barcode scanning because it's very easy to give the wrong patient the wrong feed. Turns out these feeding orders, particularly our target is intensive care units. These feeding orders are insanely complex. You could have 15 to 20 variables in a single feeding order. So it's very easily to make a mistake when the nurses who are typically administering the feed are trying to prepare those feeds. So what we've learned in managing over 1.7 million inpatient feeds at this point is that 2% of the time there is an error that is potentially harmful to the patient. So we intervene and alert the provider before that mistake happens, helping them achieve zero harm and avoiding mistakes that could potentially be very harmful. Because you imagine, for example, in the neonatal ICU, if you give the wrong milk to the wrong kid, the clinical consequences are very significant and actually include death. So that is the Keriton platform. I'm super excited to be here and appreciate the opportunity.
Summarize the key message that you would tell in this very short period of time you have of your clinical and economic value propositions, and make sure you tell us if you're reimbursed or if you're just, an enterprise sale that's going to just fit into the overall economics, and explain that business model. So it's really ultimately business model that we're kind of going after here, as well as the benefits.
Right, we're an inpatient feeding management and nutrition platform. So I'm reminded that when I lived in California, there was a chain of pie restaurants, and they used to advertise, "Come for the food and stay for the pie." So we're come for the safety and stay for the workflow. What we do is dramatically improve the safety of feeds. Our target core markets are pediatric, neonatal, ICUs, where I can tell you there isn't a NICU or PICU on the planet that hasn't fed the wrong milk or the wrong formula to the wrong kid at some time. And it happens way more routinely than it should. It's harmful to the kid. It's harmful to the reputation of the hospital. It's an event. It's a reportable event. But yet the way most institutions handle this today is with handwritten labels. A typical kids hospital will manage 20,000 bottles a year. Can you imagine the inventory and logistical nightmare? Some are frozen, some are in the fridge, some are in the parent's home. They could be at the loading dock. It's virtually impossible to keep track of this inventory using handwritten labels and spreadsheets or logs, but that's how it's done in most hospitals today, right? Imagine, what could possibly go wrong? So just like medication management, there is literally no way to keep track of the inventory to make sure you're giving the right feed to the right kid without our platform. So our platform is a mission critical SaaS platform, right? We embed inside the EHR, and we intervene on the safety side before the error gets made. So literally, if a provider stays within our platform, they will not make any errors. If you're a really good ICU, your error rate's around 2%. We have seen institutions with much higher error rates than that. So that's the safety piece. But then the reason customers love us is because we make their workflows so much better. They don't have to do handwritten labels. It's called 2RN checks. Anytime you feed a kid, you need to call another nurse over and say, "Hey, this is the right milk, right feed for the right kid, right? You agree?" That could take 5 or 10 minutes in and of itself. Then it all has to get charted and documented. The other piece that we do that's really important on the access side is we enable providers and families to communicate. We create a direct pipeline between them. So That's the value. And as one of our customers recently said, if you took away, this was one of the nursing leaders at one of our customers, she said, if you took away keratin, I would retire.